Okay, my brain hurts. And you know what? If my brain has to hurt, your brain has to hurt. Want tech news in a way that doesn't suck? Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications and you'll save a puppy. You like puppies, don't you? Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Front Page Tech, of course, show that gives you all the latest tech news from one geek that is me to another that is you. Happy Thursday. I'm a little salty today. Yep, woke up on the wrong side of the toilet. Okay, let's get started. All right, so first up for the day, story numero uno. Late last week, I believe it was Friday, I showed you on Front Page Tech the very first render of a prototype Pixel 5. A legitimate, in fact, I said I was 99% sure, 99.9% sure, that what I showed you was a legitimate prototype for the Pixel 5. One of 3 different prototype designs, and that the final design wasn't decided on just yet, but what I showed you was a legit prototype, something that they are considering. But if you didn't watch that episode and instead you just read it in some article somewhere, then you don't know that's what I said, because 50% of the media just decided to do whatever they wanted with that story and misquoted me, used me out of context. Literally, right before I recorded this show, which is why I'm worked up, I read an article where the website edited a video, edited clips of me out of context, where I actually said, you know, I'm 99.9% sure that this is one of 3 prototypes. And they took the clips and edited it to make me say I am 99.9% sure that this is the final Pixel 5. So, you know, who cares what I actually say doesn't even matter anymore, because f*** me, who cares about the truth? Am I right? Anyway, even though that seemed like it was way too early for me to leak anything Pixel 5 related, just a few days after I leaked that prototype, we already have another leak for Pixel 5. This time for the actual name of the device, confirming the name Pixel 5. You know, just in case you were worried about it being called the Pixel S20 or whatever. It was actually left by a user in the Android open source project code comments, and this is what it said. Mentioning Pixel 5 right there by name. We'll highlight that for you to make it real easy. And of course, after the news picked up this comment and published it, the user then went ahead and that has been removed. Now, it doesn't say Pixel 5. It doesn't name drop the Pixel 5 anymore. But it's the internet, and whatever's on the internet stays on the internet. Now, you might not remember this, but this is kind of our job. We have done this for years. Last year, a similar thing happened, but it happening this year, showing up in the Android open source project, it has occurred 2 months earlier than last year. So this leak has happened 2 months earlier, and it happened like soon after my prototype leak. So I think it's pretty safe to say that the leak, it's official. The Google Pixel 5 leak season has begun. It is here. Prepare your anus. All right, so next up, need to remind you, I'm in a bit of a mood, so please excuse me for that. But let's talk about OnePlus 8. I've seen a lot of comments asking me to talk about OnePlus 8, and I want to listen to you. This is your show too, as much as it is mine. But it's spec related, and I need to warn you, if you aren't aware, I don't give a single flying f*** about specs. Not at all. The numbers on paper, the numbers on paper don't actually speak to real life experience. And user experience is what matters on a device, not the specs. But here you go. Here's what you want. None of these numbers actually translate directly to user experience, but I'm gonna give them to you anyway. For 3 different devices, these are the specs for the OnePlus 8 Lite. Don't worry, I'll give you a second to look. Just take your time. No rush or anything. We're not doing a show or anything like that. And these are the specs for the OnePlus 8, reportedly. And then next to this, right here, we'll give you the this is the OnePlus 8 Pro specs. Now, in terms of performance, they're kind of the same, right? It's kind of all the same. But if these are accurate and true, that OnePlus 8 Pro will be the only one that has a display of 120 hertz. It's also the only one to feature the 50-watt super warp fast charging. Now, these could be real, they could be accurate. There's only one thing that catches me off guard here. None of those specs actually mentioned wireless charging, something that's been missing from OnePlus phones forever, something that people have been demanding from OnePlus. for forever, but recent reports have claimed that one or all of these phones will have wireless charging. So it's just it feels a little weird that it's not included in these spec roundups. Are you happy? I talked about OnePlus like you wanted, and I showed you specs like you wanted. Let me know if you care about any of that in the comments. Oh, sorry, I was waiting for me to give a shit. Okay, so last up, this goes along with why my brain hurts. A source reached out. It was like somebody from a dark alley came to me today, gave me information about the iPhone 9, and it was like, it felt sketchy. And I was like, I'm not going to talk about this. I'm not going to report about it. But then something else happened, and I was like, whoa, what? And so here I am. I'm gonna give you the information. I'll be transparent, okay? I'm gonna give you the information they gave me, but take it with a grain of salt, please. I can't confirm any of this. So, according to this stranger in the dark who they say works at Apple, there's some stuff that's actually wrong about recent leaks for the iPhone 9. So, the rumors and the speculation, all of that stuff, we've all sort of agreed that the naming for this device is iPhone 9. Right, so this is the follow-up to the iPhone SE, so the names were either like iPhone SE2 or iPhone 9. But on this show, I said to me, that seems like a marketing oversight to call it the iPhone 9 because we have newer iPhones now that have higher numbers than 9. We have 10, the 10S, 11, and to just give us an iPhone 9, like, though the average consumer doesn't care or pay attention to specs or anything, they do know that the number 9 is a smaller number, lower number than 11. They know that. So it just seemed like a weird marketing decision to me, but according to this source, the name isn't iPhone 9, it's not iPhone SE2, it's just iPhone. That's it. Similar to how the base model iPad is just called iPad, they're saying that this is just iPhone. That's it. 2020 iPhone, that's the name, just that, iPhone. They also told me that the pricing is going to look like this: $399 for the 64 gigabyte model, and then for the 128 gigabyte model, that'll be $450. Now again, take this information with a grain of salt. I'm looking at you, media. I don't want to read articles. John Parsons said this iPhone going to be $450. Now, where things get interesting is that this source told me that if the event happens, it's going to happen on March 30th or March 31st. That's either on a Monday or a Tuesday. But he said that Apple actually hadn't decided on having an event yet. They didn't know if they could have an event because they're having production issues with the iPhone 9, or well, in this case, just iPhone, the new iPhone. Now, that's where this was sketchy to me because, you know, that didn't line up with anything that we've been hearing. Him saying that they're actually having issues with the iPhone 9 and they haven't decided on actually going forward and having the event yet, that seems sketchy to me because, well, that's not what we've been hearing. We've had multiple episodes on this show where we've covered multiple stories saying that, yes, the iPhone 12 might have production issues and we might see delays there, but the iPhone 9, what we've been calling the iPhone 9, is good to go. That Apple was going to have the event, it's going to be on March 31st, the phone will release on April 3rd, and everything was going to be fine. There was no issues with that device. So that's why I wasn't going to tell you any of this information because it just didn't line up with what we've already been hearing. But then this happened. According to a new report from Nikkei Asian Review, we've talked about them before, still can't get their name right. They're saying that the new iPhone will likely miss its schedule. And this is directly related to the beer flu, the virus that's happening in China. I can't say the name of the beer flu, what it actually is, and apparently I can't type it out, because the last episode of Front Page Tech, we typed it out, put it on screen for you, and YouTube still figured it out. They still demonetized it. So now they are saying there's issues with production here and that it might miss its schedule, which lines up with what my news source was telling me, where Apple hasn't even figured out if they can have the event yet. And this also lines up with information I gave you on Tuesday from some sources I have in China that work at Foxconn and stuff that were telling me that a lot of the factories there aren't going to be opening up for another 25 days. Now, I said that number specifically, 25 days until these factories open up again, assuming things don't get worse and they can't open up. But let's just assume that number is safe to bet on. 25 days, okay? That leads us directly to this story, making it kinda accurate. Because according to this report, they're not only having issues with this new iPhone, but they also say that there will be low stock of existing models of iPhones because of the issue of the beer flu in China, and this could last until April or longer. Which, if this lasted till April, it would line up with the number I gave you on Tuesday saying that a lot of these factories can't even operate until 25 days from now. So they open up 25 days from now, even like starting up and getting production ramped up again, that'll be slower, take some time, and then we may end up right in April. Like, things are just lining up and it's weird and my brain hurts, man. So I'm just doing my job here, trying to be completely transparent with you, give you the information that I have, even if we can't completely rely on it. I still think it's nice to give to you so you know it, and we'll think about it and see what happens. I guess let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I know, it's crazy right now. Okay, real quick, before we end the show, this is not a news story. I just want to be transparent with you. Call this Jern's Transparent Corner. So we like to believe that we're more open and honest and transparent with the audience. We want you to feel like you're just as much a part of this as we are. So this is one of those things. I want to tell you something that most YouTubers probably wouldn't be honest about and tell you. I see a lot of the comments. A lot of you are frustrated, or at least making memes and mocking us, that a lot of the shows have titles related to the iPhone. And that's true. It absolutely does, to a point where it's almost meme-worthy. That's fine. But here I am being honest with you. That is intentional, obviously, and we're just playing the game. We're giving the YouTube algorithm what it wants from us, because that's just what it wants. I don't make the rules, okay, but I do have to play the game. So we make the episodes, we make the show the way we want to, talk about the stuff we want to, and we disguise it and wrap it up with a cute little bow for the YouTube algorithm. We give it a title that is for the YouTube algorithm, and we make the show for you. So there's the information. That's what's actually happening. And even though it's kind of funny and meme-worthy and we like to make jokes and mock it, it's actually, I think it's more frustrating for us over here behind the scenes than it is for you. Because for us, it feels super limiting, it's annoying, but it's what we gotta do, okay? So we are a team, let's do this as a team. I'm being honest with you as the leader of the Toilet Squad. So there you go, transparency. I'm doing it. And that's the show. Hopefully you liked it, you learned something. If you did, hit the like button. If you hate my stupid face, the dislike button works too. That button's for you. If you're new here, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow.